Hello and welcome to the Global Electronics Report. It's Friday, September 23rd, and my name is David Burford. It's Trade Association Week, and most of the major news stories come from those who represent us. The progressive government of Narendra Modi rolled out their national policy to increase global market share in electronics manufacturing in 2012. This has now trickled down to a state level where the states are vying to attract inward investment from international companies looking to set up in India. At the Electronica Productronica event in Bangalore, India this week, the organisers are staging a CEO summit to enable each state to pitch the benefits of investing in their locality. Trevor Galbraith is in India this week and he sent us this report.
So Keith, end of the second day here in Bangalore. A pretty vibrant show. What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's a very vibrant show. Every year it has quite a good attendance. A lot of the major players globally are here, some through distribution, some directly. And I think, we've been saying for a long time, India's about to happen, and I think it's actually starting to happen now.
Well, I think you could see that from the amount of construction that's going on around us, even at our hotel in town. I mean, there's just construction everywhere, which is a sign that the country's growing and expanding.
Yeah, I mean, the Prime Minister launched the Make in India program, I think about 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people were skeptical at the beginning, but I think now they're actually starting to see it happen. And here we've got a lot of the major states who are actively now promoting themselves and looking for electronic manufacturing companies to move in and to grow. And mobile phone manufacturers already are starting to be here.
Right. It's interesting to see some of the incentives that they're using to attract companies as well. I mean, for example, one of the big issues was the import duties. They're getting rid of, they're scrapping that essentially and going to replace it with a general sales tax, which a lot of people think is going to be in the sort of 18% range, which is going to make things a lot more of a level playing field and a lot easier.
Yeah, this is going to happen, and I think when it does, it's going to make a big difference. But the real issue that people are whispering about rather than talking about is that at the moment there is no or very little tax on an assembled circuit board that comes into the country.
Right.
So what's happening in India at the moment, they're doing a lot of box build for mobile phones, they're doing a lot of box build for automotive, but they're not actually putting the assemblies together.
Right.
And the whisper is that they're going to put just a very small tax on that. It doesn't need to be a big tax, but it will be enough to swing the things and actually make what's happening happen much, much faster.
Right, yeah. No, they're certainly putting the right incentives in place for business to be done here. One interesting note was that it's on the semiconductor side, it seems to be not quite so prevalent. It's quite quiet on the semi side.
No, again, when the Indian government realized that a huge amount of money was coming into their country as components that they could actually build themselves, they started an incentive to generate semiconductor industry here. And I think that's starting to happen from what we've seen. The major distributors are starting to tie up with semiconductor principles as well as the SMT principles, and I think that's going to help it a bit. But yeah, it's slower than everybody thinks.
Yeah.
But obviously, if they put this tax on the assemblies, then people are going to come here and start assembling, and then the component companies are going to say, well, all this stuff's been made in India, perhaps we need to look a little bit more seriously. So maybe it will be a pull situation rather than a push.
Yeah. Well, definitely going in the right direction, I think. And we actually did some detailed interviews with the states, and they're going to be appearing on Global SMT TV. So you'll see them on all of our sites recently in the near future. But let's think. Anything further we want to add to this?
No, I think apart from when we come back next year, hopefully we were saying even more positive things.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks anyway for joining us, Keith, and thanks for your help.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be bringing a series of reports from Electronica Productronica India on Global SMT over the coming days, including interviews with representatives from the Indian states. Bangkok headquartered contract manufacturer Fabrinet made a successful acquisition of the UK company Exception EMS. Fabrinet has enjoyed exceptional growth over the past several years, primarily with customers in the US and Japan, and there are tremendous opportunities for growing our business in Europe, noted Tom Mitchell, Chairman and CEO of Fabrinet. With this acquisition, we are establishing a strong foothold in Europe, which will allow us to grow our business with European customers and give them access to our advanced, low-cost manufacturing services in Thailand, particularly in our new facility in Chonburi, that is coming online and ramping in the next several months. One of the largest and oldest established distributors in Turkey has been closed, and a number of the senior managers jailed as part of the fallout after the attempted coup to overthrow Tayyip Erdogan. Esmann Electronics represents many well-known industry suppliers such as ASM Assembly Systems and Electrolube. President Erdogan has undertaken an extensive clean-up campaign to root out those who supported the failed coup. The electronic industry converges on Chicago next week for the annual SMT conference and exhibition. If you are not making the trek to Chicago this year, then don't forget to tune into the series of live panel discussions from the show floor. Full details are available on globalsmt.net/SMTAI. Panasonic Factory Solutions Company of America have launched PanaSim Enterprise Edition 10, a new architecturally innovative version that effectively delivers a feature-rich manufacturing software suite through a scalable small footprint appliance that can grow with the manufacturer while providing unprecedented integration of Panasonic and best-in-class complementary technology partner equipment. There are typically two software options for the electronics assembly industry when choosing manufacturing execution software packages, remarked M. Faisal Pandit, President Panasonic Factory Solutions Company of America. The first is OEM tools that focus specifically on their hardware, but they are not feature-rich or enterprise relevant. The other option involves third-party enterprise solutions that have a broader range of application, yet have very limited control over the OEM equipment, plus the software is expensive to install and requires in-house IT support. PanaSim Enterprise Edition 10 combines the best aspects of both options in a new turnkey single solution choice, which totally changes the game. That's it for this week. Check back with me next week for more top stories from around the electronics world.